History will remember them as the Fierce Five. They waited for their score to make it real, and then it was. A team goal that said they were the best there was in London. Now 3 of them want back in the Olympics game. And tonight is the next important step for Kyla Ross, who was the youngest on that team. Allie Raisman is 21 now and admits her body aches a little more than it used to. And then there's Gabby Douglas, whose trip to the Olympic all-around gold was so good it became a movie. In the mix now is Simone Biles, who's won everything major since London. And tonight she goes for a three-peat in the national championship. Get the gold medals ready. This is the P&G Gymnastics Championships. Come on inside on a beautiful day in the Hoosier State. This is the home of the Indiana Pacers, the Bankers Life Fieldhouse. It was designed with basketball in mind, but for the next 4 days, and we'll have coverage for you, starting with the women and then picking it up with the men beginning tomorrow. Simone Biles, so dominant, and a Team USA that could be so deep as it was in London. So hard to get that special gold medal feeling back. Al Trautwig, along with 2 people who know perfectly well how difficult that is. Tim Daggett and Elton Schlegel. I'm Al Trautwig. We're also joined by Andrea Joyce and Nastia Lukin, excuse me. Nastia, the 2 that are returning. Kyla was one thing. Gabby
and Allie.
And Allie. What specific problems do they have to overcome?
Well, I think they obviously haven't competed for a few years, so just getting back out there is one thing. And, you know, for me, they've been very impressive because not only are they out there competing most of their Olympic routines, but some even better than they did at the Olympics with upgraded difficulty.
Okay, we look forward to seeing what kind of form she and Allie have as we move through the night. 2 nights of competition to determine a national champion. Simone Biles has won the last 2, Tim. How dominant has she been?
You know what? I personally think that she is the most dominant female athlete in the world, and there are some great ones out there.
That's Ronda Rousey on line 1.
I know, exactly. And don't forget about Serena Williams. But I'll tell you why I say that. It's because she doesn't just win. She's won every single competition in the last 2 years. She typically destroys the competition every single time. She's phenomenal.
Gabby Douglas will begin on the vault. We will see Simone Biles on the uneven bars. We're just beginning our coverage of the 2015 P&G Championships. The P&G Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by CoverGirl and Gillette. And by USA Gymnastics. Begin here, go anywhere. Gorgeous sunset at the end of a gorgeous day. Gabby Douglas. Nastia, you watched her in training. What's your impression of how she can do here?
You know, we have watched her all week, and it's been, you know, she's had some great days and some little bit of a roller coaster, but I think what Gabby Douglas is so great about is she goes out there and she is hit time after time. So that's what we're hoping that she can do today.
We're less than a year now from the Rio Olympics. We should remember that in the exact same time of the calendar before London, Gabby became a rocket ship.
Well, she did, but actually at this exact meet before London, she had a disastrous competition, then got it all back together again. You see that apparatus right there? That's the balance beam, and she was all over the place. She told us here in Indy that she is so glad she is not that same Gabby Douglas anymore. She says she's better physically and mentally than she was when she won the gold medal.
2 nights of competition to determine a national champion. Simone Biles has won the last 2. So Gabby Douglas gets set. We go to the vault. The next big event on the gymnastics calendar after this is the World Championships. Michaela Skinner wants to be part of it. How does she do it?
Well, actually, she does it with vaulting and floor exercise. She's been a little bit beat up. Did not compete well at the last competition, the Secret Classic. This is super difficult, though. Half turn on. And a pretty good result there. Little bit of a closed hip angle when she's coming in for the landing. But there's one area where Michaela gets a little criticized. And watch, only one of her arms is going to really contact well. You see that? One arm, it just barely touches the horse. And if they don't think that she gets good enough pressure, Marta Caroli told me it's a point off. That's what the international judges are saying. I don't see a deduction in the code of points, in the rules that says that.
So now a second vault. Why?
Well, she does a second vault because at a Worlds or an Olympic Games or to become a national champion, you have to do 2 different vaults. There's only a handful of them that'll do 2 vaults today. Simone Biles will be one of them. And she actually won a bronze medal at the last World Championships on this event. She's capable of doing this vault. It's called an Aminar. She's not doing it today, however. She'll do just a double twist instead of 2.5 twists. Still not all the way recovered.
Too bad, but you know, Tim, we watched her in training and she was practicing the Aminar. She struggled a little bit, so I think they decided to take it the safer route this time and in hopes to make that world team and hopefully do it there.
First vault was a 15.15, and we slide over to the uneven bars. We're looking at Augusta, Georgia's Bailey Key, U.S. Junior Champion from 2013. So she's timed out perfectly in the calendar.
Absolutely, and check out this leotard here. It's Thursday. This is Throwback Thursday leotard. Her main coach, Kim Zameskel, wore this leotard in 1991 when she won one of her national all-around titles. Bailey's a very technical gymnast. Beautiful form. A little bit of a split on that. She probably thought she was going to fall the wrong way. Excellent start. There she is, Kim Zameskel Burdett.
And here's that photo of Kim, her coach at the 1991 National Championships, recreating that leotard.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's hysterical, yeah.
Must be kind of a little pressure on her, you know, to try to recreate that moment, too.
Kim told me that Bailey was a little apprehensive about it, but she has completely embraced it now.
Alyssa Bauman is one of the next in a long line of gymnasts who've come to us via Plano, Texas.
You trained with her, right, Nastia?
I sure did, ever since she was a little girl. And last year, she was part of that World Championship team that took home the gold in the team competition.
Big skill right here. Blind landing, Arabian front. Very well done.
This is probably one of Alyssa's best events. This is where she really stands out. She's so precise.
Little bit of a stumble right there. Very solid there. You know, both Alyssa and Marta Caroli, the national team coordinator, have said that on this event especially, if she could just replicate what she does over and over again in practice, she'd be golden, but sometimes gets a little nervy. On balance beam at the World Championships in the team final. He said going up there, winning that gold medal for the team and competing so well on beam gave her experience and confidence that she'll use going forward. Nice double pike, a good landing.
Always a little nerve-wracking starting on the balance beam, but put her nerves to the side this time.
He gets a 15.2, and now Gabby Douglas. She's about 15 feet in front of us. The Olympic all-around gold medalist with the team as well. Interesting, she didn't win a medal in any of the events.
No, she didn't.
And that hadn't happened since 1952. And Gabby had a taste of Hollywood, a little Dancing with the Stars, wrote a book, was on the best-selling list. Did an exhibition on Dancing with the Stars with her teammates.
Sean.
Lifetime did a movie on her. How hard is that decision to say, I'm going to go back in the room, I'm going to go back in the gym?
Well, that's the toughest part, I think, of this entire process, is making that decision to say, I'm just going to train. You know, you can't be doing both things at once. And, you know, I try to do that. I tried to train and do all the extra stuff. And that's when you have to realize what it is that you want. And you have to give it your all and quit all those things and get back in the gym 5 to 7 hours a day.
How big is this wall?
Well, this is actually kind of a walk in the park for Gabby. She just in warm-ups did a super powerful double twisting Yurchenko. Difficult, but nowhere near the same value that she did in the 2012 Olympic Games. She added a half twist, which ups the maximum starting score and makes it a lot more challenging. But she, I tell you, from watching her vault, there's no question in my mind she's capable of doing that big vault. The thing I love about after the championships preceding this, she said that, you know, there's so many doubters online saying she's not training, she's not coming back. And, you know, as Taylor Swift says, haters gonna hate. But she said, my comeback, it is not fake. Big ball. Very good, very clean, powerful. Just a slide on the landing there.
As you said, Tim, she is capable of doing an extra half, but here you see her get great height, a little pike down on that landing, but solid start for Gabby in her first national championships back since winning the gold.
Now, see, I would have thought you would have been first to quote Taylor Swift and not Tim Deck.
I have a 16-year-old daughter, Al.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to Bailey Keys and update the score. She wears that throwback leotard, that green arrow. We implemented a green, yellow, red, assisting you to help figure out what the scores sort of mean. And when you have deductions of less than 1.2, that's a really good score. So that will accelerate you. Yellow is more cautious and red is really hurtful. Going for 3 national championships in a row.
This event is nowhere near weak, but it's the weakest of the 4 that she has. She just doesn't give anything away. Nice handstands. This is tricky right here. She's going to do 2 releases in a row, and now transition. Beautiful. The scary thing for everybody else is Simone is actually capable of doing so much more on every single event. Perfect landing. Wow. That's why I say she's so dominant. It's just there's never a doubt. So Jamie Borman right there has been with Simone from the very beginning.
Now on balance beam for questions, Alexandra Raceman.
Allie Raceman.
We watched Allie practice all week, and she was rock solid on this event. She told us she, at home, actually trains 10 to 15 beam routines every single day.
Olympic gold medalist and an individual gold medalist on the floor exercise. Oh my goodness, I cannot even believe it. Fall off the beam, fall off the bars. It's devastating, and that was a full point deduction plus. A major reason why Allie was on the 2012 team was because she is so consistent and such a great, Marta Corley calls it a beamer, just unflappable. And she's being a little bit careful. She gains a lot of her maximum starting score by connecting elements together. And when you come off on a leap sequence, it just... You gotta get it together here, though, because this is super difficult. It's called a Patterson, one of the most difficult dismounts being done in the world. Wow.
Alexandra Raceman.
Oh, boy. You know, her feet kind of stumbled around on that punch for that dismount. Wow. And that, of course, Marta Karolyi. Nobody gets a pass with Marta Karolyi, but I'll tell you, this young lady right here, if that's not a fluke, I don't know what one is. Trying to connect that just wasn't completely stable after the acrobatic element, but has to go immediately as soon as she lands to get the bonus. She's off, you can see, and she doesn't. She just can't put it back together. She's trying to get that extra 1/10 of a point.
But this dismount is, like you said, Tim, extremely difficult. So she gets all the way around, and you know, like you said, after she fell, she just kind of seemed a little bit off on everything. I'm sure it really startled her.
Coach Mihai Brestian.
One thing, do not hesitate. Go for the skip. Question. You pay the price. Okay.
Now a door exercise for gymnasts.
I think by now he's used every verbal trick he knows.
And then some.
And here's Kyla Ross. 15 when she won gold, and what did she tell you?
She said, you know, everyone was saying, are you going to retire? She goes, I'm 15 years old. How do you retire at 15? Perfectly executed. It was close, though. If her hand touches the floor. Howie Leung, her coach.
And it just seemed like she ran out of gas at the very end. She didn't punch as high as she normally does.
So let's look at the arms, though. Does she touch the floor? And absolutely she does. That's not a fall. You know, if both hands had shown support on the floor, it would have been a point. But I would say that they're probably going to take 5 on that.
Gabby Douglas gets a 15.1. And then Allie Raceman got hit with a 13.75. Here's Maggie Nichols, who puts a little twinkle in Marta Karolyi's eye, doesn't she?
Absolutely. She has improved so much. Super difficult vault. This is that Aminar that we were talking about. Oh, baby. Well, I thought she'd be your leader after round 1. And if she's not, I don't know what the judges are thinking, because that was spectacular.
Maggie has been the one that has really impressed me since last year, but specifically watching her in training all week, she just has that sparkle to her. She does great gymnastics and has such a great look.
A lot of people, when they do this, they get really messy on that last half turn. Her legs are a little bit apart, but shows a great body line, good preparation for the landing. The judges don't want you to see you flipping and twisting until you hit. And Marta Karolyi right there, she's got to be happy with that.
Nichols to the top, 15.8.
Well, they got that one right, that's for sure. Maximum score for that is a 16.3, so 5/10 in execution.
So Biles has some catching up to do here. We're only in the first rotation. 13.75 for Aly Raisman.
Yeah, that's devastating. You see the 2.35. So those are the deductions she had. Her maximum score was over 16 points.
So we're just getting started in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is the P&G Championships. Tyler Ross gets a 13.55. Back. A lot of our focus tonight is on Simone Biles. She's won back-to-back national championships, but Gabby Douglas deserves the attention for what she is trying to do. Aly Raisman as well. Get back to the Olympic Games, and she's had to absorb a big mistake on the balance beam already. And then there's Kyla Ross. Now, common sense and history tells you it's very, very hard to come back. And there's the thread that goes through that great 1996 team that included the Magnificent Seven. Kerry Strug came back to be part of that. The famous shot of her being carried by Bella Caroli. Amy Chow returned after winning to the 2000 games. And then there was the ridiculously awesome Dominique Dawes, who made it back to 3. Al Trautwig, Tim Daggett, Nastia Liukin, Andrea Joyce is with us too. You have a good feeling about these three going back to an Olympics?
I do. I think so. And, you know, they're starting this process a little bit earlier than I did. And they are looking really great out there. Obviously, it's still a year away. So I think the most important thing for them right now is to stay healthy.
Tim, would you pick them?
Well, I don't get to pick them. Marta Caroli does. And if she was, I would say that both Gabby and Aly, even with that fall, they're on the team right now.
To go to the World Championship.
Well, to go to the World, if they were picking, if Marta had to pick the Olympic team right now, Gabby Douglas would be on it. I firmly believe that.
She has had the magic touch. So, Gabby Douglas, Aly Raisman, Kyla Ross, Simone Biles, they all move on to the next rotation. And we'll see how Aly Raisman recovers and what Simone Biles does. We're back in the P&G Gymnastics Championships after one rotation. Maggie Nichols has the lead. Bailey Key 0.6 back, and then 4 gymnasts tied 0.65. So how does Simone Biles get that back?
Very easily. Her next 3 events are just outrageous. If she does what she's capable of, it's off the charts. I mean, beam is obviously a challenge. If she gets through it, though, she's going to put up a huge number, and then she's going to go to floor exercise, and it's going to be astronomical, and then she's going to go to vault, and it'll be even bigger.
It's got to be a good feeling to get that balance beam out of the way as soon as possible. We'll see what happens up there to Simone Biles, and we'll see what Gabby Douglas has on the uneven bars. Back in the Bankers Life Fieldhouse, we're getting set to see Bailey Key. Tim Zmeskal was by her a little moment ago, and we will have more on the unique relationship between the two of them.
You know, this is her first year competing as a senior, and I asked her what that was like, and you know, she's such a quiet young lady, and she said that, you know, her first senior meet, she said, I felt like I finally belonged. And then she said, and it's so excited to be out there with the big dogs. And it's like, it just seemed so out of character for her, but she might look shy and demure, but her absolute best quality is she is fierce as all get out. She is a competitor.
This is kind of the perfect time for her, too, to have a year of experience competing on that senior level before it is an Olympic year.
Very difficult skill. Actually, a wolf turn, I thought she was going to go around one more time.
Kim said, Bailey said that Kim reminds me to go full out and leave it all out there because sometimes I get nervous and that's where those wobbles come in. So.
Oh my goodness.
That's exactly what she was talking about. She gets a little bit timid when she's competing on the beam.
And that hand touches the beam, and that's not good. Never would have predicted that, nor would I have ever predicted that Aly Raisman would come off the balance beam. Nicely done. She'll get that connection for doing that front flip and then the leap right out of it. She wanted to put all three of those together. Certainly will not get it. Boy, a little, definitely, like you said, now she is definitely a little tentative.
She struggled on this dismount in training a little bit.
Actually, that's the best one I've seen her do since she's been here, but...
More exercise for Polka, Alyssa Bellman.
I heard Kim telling her that, you know, you just need to breathe, and that's exactly what she says. She needs to compete on the balance beam as if she was on the floor exercise doing a tumbling pass like this. You see she's pretty straight until that third skill, and her foot is almost all the way off the beam.
But, you know, I think what it was is that she just didn't have enough height. She was a little bit low, didn't get a good rebound off the balance beam, and when you're under-rotated, it's so easy for hips, shoulders, arms to slide a little bit to the side, and that's exactly what did.
So a little tester on this relationship. For more, let's go to Andrea Joyce.
Well, Al, we all know that the closer we get to the Olympics, the more intense these events become. And Kim Zmeskal noticed a couple of months ago that her gymnasts were really way too serious in the gym. She told me that she felt like they were taking every single little mistake way too seriously and that it was affecting their overall performance. So she came up with a quaint motivational tool. It is the very sophisticated, very scientific star sticker system. Now, these big ones are for stuck landings, so Bailey probably will get one of those after that uneven bars routine at the first rotation. The bottom ones might be the most important ones, though. Those are the pressure set stars. You get those when you fight through a routine that really doesn't go your way. And, you know, you might think that this is just a gimmick and it's just kind of cute, but when I asked Bailey about it, she lit up. She said, I absolutely love it. I feel like it does make a difference. And you know what? It makes a difference in the long, long days in the gym. A lot more smiles there. Al?
All right, Andrea, it's very similar to a star system that we used for Nastia when she started on gymnastics coverage. 13.7 there for Bailey Key.
Oh, yeah, and that's really a devastating score for her.
Tyler Ross.
So I had that short landing on her first event. This is her most difficult piece of apparatus. A very beautiful double twisting.
And at the London Olympic Games just a few years ago, she did do that Aminar. She had she was training that, but didn't quite do it at the Olympics. And she said, you know, she grew a lot and she just hasn't been able to get that back yet.
Really, for her tonight, it's all about the next two events, though. It's all about beam and it's all about bars. That's where she gets her most value. Gabby has a very intricate routine. This is where she does the most difficult stuff. Watch this. Inside stalter work, very hard, and this, it's called an L grip. Nice and light in the air. Dismount, double layout, small hop, but two routines. Two very strong hits for Gabby Douglas.
And the uneven bars being one of her better events and hardest too, because all those skills that she does them in connection, and it makes it so much harder to have little room for error in everything that she does in that routine.
Get those scores updated in a moment. Now we go to Simone Biles over at the balance beam, and this will create some of those iconic pictures with the huge American flag behind her.
This is going to be interesting because balance beam has been treacherous so far tonight. And actually, yesterday in training, I saw Simone really have the worst day I have ever seen her have. She'll do this very difficult spin. Oof. And she added a couple of moves at the most recent challenge. This first one right here, this is a front with a half. A little bit off, but she stayed on. Very difficult, though.
3 skills in a row right here. Beautiful. You know, Simone told us even though she doesn't feel any different, she says she does feel like she has to please people now because of her recent success in the last 2 years.
After that really rough day yesterday, she said she had a good cry and everything's all fine. Her coach Amy Borman said she was just putting too much pressure on herself, thinking too much. Said stop listening to what other people's expectations are. Big dismount. Full twisting double. Not the best that she's done, but a very solid routine for Simone Biles, and will move her up in the standings.
Okay, very smart. You did that? Huh? No, you managed it. You did not let one thing carry you to the next thing. Okay, so that is what you are training yourself to do. So that is
That's a great point. She did not let one little problem follow her the rest of the routine. Here's the dismount. Full twisting double somersault. Does it extremely well.
Not too many people in the world are doing that, but in a little bit you'll see.
Thank goodness.
You'll see Maggie, actually. She has upgraded to that dismount.
okay.
You'll see that in a little bit.
Kyla Ross, green, score, good to go, 15.05. And Gabby Douglas, equally good, 15.3.
A little redemption for Allie here on the floor, which she just so happens to be the Olympic champion on this event.
This is ridiculously complicated. Sure looked like that foot slipped out with a tenth of a point. That was a good fight to stay in bounds on that last tumbling pass. I thought she was going to just bound out of it.
She was breathing heavy.
She said since the Olympic Games, she has upgraded her routine to make it even harder. See this opening tumbling pass, jam-packed.
Does she stay in bounds? And no, you see that left foot slip out, but I did not see the yellow flag raised, so either the judges disagreed with us, and that was certainly out of bounds. Sometimes they can correct it after the fact, but
Gabby Douglas, 15.3, only 1.1 in deductions.
Now on uneven bars,
good score for uneven bars.
Maggie Nichols.
Here's Maggie Nichols. Let's see what she does with the lead.
You know, Simone made it a little easier for her, only getting a 14.8 on balance beam. She's capable of much higher. Maggie has a lightness about her gymnastics. A little bit over on that handstand. Double layout, and those toes were squeezing that mat. She was not going to take a step.
Now on balance beam.
I think this is the best we've ever seen Maggie. You know, she said she had an injury last year, and she came back and said that really gave me some time to set new goals for myself. And she said by not succeeding every time, it's kind of what's kept me going.
Tim, the officials may have missed that Toa Valley race, but she got a 15.55.
Yeah, we'll talk to them after that. That was a great routine from Maggie once again.
And see, there's that cautionary yellow.
Okay, Saturday. I'll be watching. I'm serious.
She says, Simone says, I just cannot be
Okay, I will. Saturday. Okay,
that
Saturday.
prototype serious gymnast.
Nice comeback number for Allie Raceman. Just going to wait and get this last score from Maggie Nichols to see if she's going to hold the lead, or does Gabby Douglas maybe take over the lead. That would be a little headline.
Yes, it would. Simone's got two events, though, where I think she's the best in the world coming up, though. She's got floor exercise next, and then the vault.
Come on!
Last event wrapping up.
Now on floor exercise for Boca, Madison Ocean.
I always wonder who's going to be on the screen a year from now.
Come on, Maddie.
This should be a good number. She did have definitely some slight execution errors, and you know, another thing the judges are looking for is they are looking for perfect handstands. So if they do a pirouette, a turn while they're in the handstand, and they don't land all the way at the top, they incur very serious deductions. She had some mild ones in that routine.
And Nichols is going to remain in first place. A little bit, 14.95 is her score. So that brings us to the halfway mark of night one. The men tomorrow, the women on Saturday, the men on Sunday afternoon, and that's our weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana. In Indianapolis, Simone Biles is going for 3 national championships. Only Kim Zmeskel's done that. So that's pretty rare. Here's how she began tonight, Nastia, on the uneven bars.
You know, the uneven bars isn't always her strongest event if you look at a whole, at all 4. But in the past few years, she really doesn't have a weak event, and you'll see why on this uneven bar routine.
And she really minimizes deductions. You see that goes right to a handstand.
Little short there. Flies high.
This is a very tricky combination. Right down to the low bar. You know, the scary thing is, though, on virtually every event, Simone Biles has difficulty that she can add to distance herself even further. And one of the best landers in the sport of gymnastics, in my opinion, men or women.
15.15 was the score that she was given. We're halfway through, and we will update the standings when we come back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Here in Indianapolis, Maggie Nichols from a little town outside of the Twin Cities, Little Canada, Minnesota. She's leading over Gabby Douglas, the Olympic gold medalist, by 0.35, and Simone Biles has a bigger comeback if she wants to get back to the top. She's down by 0.8 of a point. That's your top three on night one in the P&G Gymnastics Championships. Gabby Douglas, and then Simone Biles looking for a third national championship in a row. What's your level of surprise, Nastia, that she is where she is?
Well, Simone surely hasn't seen herself in that position in quite a while, but she does have some big gymnastics to come, and I don't think she'll be finding herself in that position in the end if everything goes according to plan.
I don't think she'll be there after the next event. She scored a 16.05 in her last competition on floor exercise, and frankly, the two contenders, Maggie Nichols and Gabby Douglas, it's not possible for them to be in that range on the balance beam.
Well, her body language is certainly good, smiling to fans.
Yeah, I think she is I don't think she's rattled, but I think she has had a more difficult time kind of squelching all the noise that's around her. You know, her coach Amy Borman told me before the competition that it's like everywhere she went, people were saying, hey, Simone, you can do this. You could three-peat. That hasn't been done since Kim Zmeskal. You're the most dominant athlete, like a guy named Timothy Daggett said. I mean, it's just so much scrutiny on her, and she said that it was kind of getting into her head a little bit and had to just shut down for a little bit.
Well, this is kind of the point also where it becomes more a mental challenge than anything physical, because she can go out there and do those routines that she's doing today, day or night, any day. And so it really is, can she stay mentally focused in this next year leading up to Rio?
Well, you talk about mental. How about staying at the top?
Well, she looks like she is completely unfazed, but as Nastia alluded to earlier, she has a huge challenge doing, obviously, balance beam. It's been ruthless tonight on all of the major players, but she's also adding a dismount. She's never competed in a real competition setting, full twisting double, the same one that Simone Biles does. Very difficult.
So we're getting set to see Allie Raisman, Gabby Douglas on the beam, Simone Biles on the floor. But we begin with Allie Raisman.
And, you know, we said that both Allie and Gabby competed that Aminar, that 2.5 twisting vault at the Olympic Games. Gabby not back yet to that. Allie has competed it already, but this is not easy for her. She has struggled in this in training. She'll take that, though. Yes, it's a deduction to step off the mat like that, but that was actually much cleaner than I have seen her do.
So you'll accept the deduction for the mistake because of the intricacy that goes into the vault.
Absolutely. This has a starting score of a 16.3. That's the max she could get. Kind of maybe twists a little bit quickly off the table. Right there, she's already twisting. A little bit shy on getting that twist around. They'll certainly give it to her, though. So look, she should leave the table completely before starting to twist. You see how that happens a little bit quickly. That's going to cut down on her height. Doesn't quite get it all the way around, but she put it to her feet, and that was the main task.
After that major fall off the balance beam, she's still coming into this third rotation, was fourth.
Yeah.
Now on balance beam,
Raceman gets a 15.2. Back in the game.
Full twist, super difficult, very composed. Recently at the Secret Classic, she was better in the meet than she was in training, and so far it is the same deal here in Indianapolis. Well, she's tough, man. She really is. I never really thought that she was the absolute, she was always a great competitor, but she sometimes could get rattled. But that is 7 routines so far in the last couple of weeks, and she has looked just like this. One of the most difficult skills, back flip with a full twist, and she's a little off, but she doesn't panic.
And this dismount, she did struggle a little bit in training. She was a little crooked, and here she is a little crooked there, but she was able to pull off that double pike. Little hop on the landing, but you know, like she said, this really, that confidence comes with doing more and more numbers, more routines, being in the gym more. And she's on the right path.
Let's see if this is where the comeback begins.
Simone is doing a new floor routine. She's only competed it one other time. It has so many different, really neat, really fun elements, and the tumbling is in a class by itself. This right here is called a bile, named after her. That's shocking.
Now on ball for Wolga, Madison Kochek.
Back into your colon, you should train with that.
Marta Caroli, Rhonda Fang looking at.
Felt my hands touch your fingertips. Okay, just barely. The rest of your team was pretty good. Okay.
I literally don't. I think I've fallen on pieces. I was like 8. No, but it's strange. Except for at the Olympics when I touched the wheel. But like I'm not tired.
No, it wasn't that you were tired. You kind of threw your head back and were a little bit.
Well, she started out great, and this was the biles. named after her, a double layout with a half turn. Look at that height that she gets. Blind landing into an immediate split jump, giving her some bonus.
And this is her dismount, so she's tired. But Amy Borman said she whips her head back a little more than she usually does on the takeoff. She just didn't really pull that around, but definitely didn't have the height that we are accustomed to seeing from Simone Biles. That is a full point deduction. I'm blown away. I cannot believe she did that.
Kyla Ross in 10th after the second rotation. Gabby Douglas got a 14.45 on the balance beam.
Kyla at the Secret Classic a couple of weeks ago had a really rough go on this event. Changed the routine around. Watch this right here. Full twisting pack salto called a Bahardwaj, named after Olympian Mohini Bahardwaj.
Took a few skills out of her routine to make it a little bit easier for her, because coming up right now, she does a brand new dismount, a double front.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And yesterday she crashed on the element immediately prior to that dismount. Really bad. Really bad. She was rattled. It looked scary. She did a whole bunch of drills afterwards, you know, was a little frustrated by it, and I'm sure that that was in her head without question. This is it right here where she does this hop. She missed her hands and slammed on the bar. So she got that done, but then just didn't get the rotation around. Seeing mistakes like we never see from Team USA here today.
14.9 for Simone Biles, and a little yellow. Be careful. Now, the only one who hasn't had a major mistake yet is our leader.
Yes.
She only needs a 14.1 to hold on to that lead.
You know, this is very interesting because she has the opportunity potentially to do the unthinkable, come out on top in a meet with Simone Biles in it, but she's planning that super difficult and brand new dismount. She wants to do it. Her coaches were telling her that, you know, maybe it's not time, but she desperately wanted to get this into her routine.
Very
Comes at the end.
Skill right here. Front with the half.
That is a potential connection. She won't get that. Too much of an arm swing in between. And here it is right here. Does she do the double pike or go all out? I think she's going. And she did. Wow. Boy, she has made such a transition in 1 year. Marta called her very average at the beginning of this Olympic cycle, and each meet she's gotten a little bit better, and that is exactly what Marta Caroli wants to see. Her coach Sarah Jancy.
Extremely difficult dismount, as you saw Simone Biles do it earlier. Very good. Starting to become Maggie's day.
Well, what do you do when you have some prosperity, right? Yeah. Not everybody's good at that.
No.
She certainly has been tonight. Let's go back and update you. Allie Ray's been back in the talk here with a 15.2. Kyla Ross, we'll have her number in a moment. Gabby Douglas with a 14.45. She was in second place. And then you have Kyla Ross, who got clobbered with a 14.05.
And I think that with those scores, I believe Simone has moved ahead of Gabby. I don't think she's going to. I think she's tied at this point. Don't think it's going to be possible to move it ahead of Maggie Nichols. It shouldn't.
We're going to stay with Alyssa Bauman here. She's top 5 after the first 2 rotations.
Alyssa's little sister Rachel competing in the junior division.
Give us something you taught her.
We shared a beam together.
You taught her how to do that eyeliner, I think.
The red lipstick, though, I did not.
Now on ball for Boca, Alyssa Bauman.
So she'll do the same vault we saw from like Kyla Ross. She doesn't do that extra half turn, but she's very clean. Really kind of missed her block. Was a little bit high on the table.
It barely got her whole hands on that table. It was almost her fingertips.
Right. When that happens, you just, if you can't smash the table, you really can't, lift your body up in the air. And lots of technical reasons why that can happen. You don't get turned over enough on the skill prior to it, but watch how she doesn't really get into the table. It's like a bat hitting a ball, and it just kind of touches.
Didn't quite get the height or the rotation as she normally does. Having to pike down her landing, take a step, take a hop.
Oh, your water.
So Maggie Nichols with a 14.4 is going to keep her lead by 0.3. We'll do some additional math and come back here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, really nice vibe in the center of this city. So Simone Biles not in the lead. That's a little bit of a mini headline. She seems undisturbed just yet. She's in third after the second rotation, and she's trying to join a very short list in what we're going to call the modern era since 1990. Only Kim Zmeskal has won 3 national championships, and Simone Biles has some coming back to do. But what kind of a character was Kim Zmeskal to hang on and win 3? Let's find out more with Andrea Joyce.
Well, Al, I'm standing here with Bella Caroli, and you might remember it was 24 years ago in Indianapolis when Bella helped and coached Kim Zmeskal to become the very first American woman to win the world all-around. Did you have any idea back then that that was really a turning point for American women in this sport and that it would send them on this path to future dominance?
Well, obviously that was a great result, a great moment, and I knew the momentum was going to grow with the girls and with the excitement around the new all-around world champion. That's the first time in the history of American gymnastics we have an all-around world champion.
And she was pretty special. But now you fast forward to another generation and you look at Simone Biles, and she's got 2 world all-around titles. She's struggling a little bit tonight, but when you look at her body of work, where do you rank her with all of the greats of the past?
Simone is a super talent. I mean, I never in my life have seen somebody so gifted, physically gifted, and of course a great competitor also. So overall, I believe she's a super gymnast. It's very hard to beat at this time because her difficulty level is so high that it's almost unreachable. I'm very excited about that because there is a stone, a strong stone in the team.
And I know you're a little surprised at what you've seen so far tonight, though. You very rarely see Simone make a mistake. You very rarely see Ali Raceman come off of the beam. What do you think's going on?
Very unusual. Very unusual. And not just Simone. Ali made a mistake on the beam also. Solid.
Fit nerves?
I just can't explain. I was watching and I couldn't believe it to my eyes. It's happening. But, the nerves are all...
That's something when they surprise you. Thanks so much, Bella.
You're very welcome.
Al?
He is an absolute classic, a real treasure. Bella Caroli. We'll see what Simone Biles does in the standings as we head to the 4th rotation here on the opening night of the 2015 P&G Championships. Bailey Key, 7th after the second rotation. Not good memories of what happened there, but she's got a pretty tough person to lean on in Kim Zmeskal. She's wearing that same Leo that Kim wore in, what was it, 1991?
1991.
I mean, that's amazing.
Now,
And you know, this is not just something that they came to, this leotard, lightly. There's a whole theme around this. And Kim describes it as a circus performer, and the routine actually has all these wonderful elements of like magic and just a bow and arrow being shot. Just a really fun thing. And she said that I really needed Bailey to buy into it completely, to not just have her arm going this way, but to be thinking about throwing something. And so we had this theme, and Bailey embraced it, and we'll see if it works. An upgraded routine for her, completely new choreography, but also upgraded tumbling, and it's challenging for her. It's really hard. Her opening tumbling run, a double somersault in a laid out position, requires a lot of power. Nothing worse than being ready to go, thinking that the judges are going to give you the green flag or the green light, and they make you wait another 25 minutes.
She took 4 or 5 deep breaths there to get through.
Yeah. So let's see what it looks like under the big top. Cirque than Ringling, but I like it.
Music signals the end of the 3rd rotation. 1 more to go here on night 1. He can't grab the lead, but we'll see what happens because Simone Biles is improving her standing by more than half.
If you can.
She's the leader. Night 1 in the P&G Gymnastics Championships. Maggie Nichols. But she led Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles by about 8/10. And now that's been knocked down to 3 with Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles in a tie. Allie Raceman started the rotation in 4th and remains there. They're on the final apparatus of the night. We'll see whether the lead will change before the night comes to an end. We head to the 4th and final rotation. We looked at the standings. Someone who's right now in the mix is another one of those Texan gymnasts, Madison Koshin from Dallas.
She's been training at my parents' gym since probably before she could even walk, and it's cool to see her. Now world champion. Last year competed at the World Championships, won that team gold medal. Just a few weeks ago, she competed at the qualifying competition to the national championships. Placed 1st on bars, which is her best event. So this is kind of where she hopes to help out the team later this year at the World Championships again.
And so this is an event where Marta Karolyi is definitely looking to Madison Can she help Team USA enough on, for example, balance beam and especially the uneven bars? And I think absolutely she's one of the most gorgeous bar workers in the world presently. She flies and she has a lightness, an airiness about her gymnastics. It is absolutely phenomenal to watch. Beautiful. Watch this. Super difficult. Big release right here. Dismount coming up right here. And that was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, she did what she needed to do. This is exactly where she needed to prove to Marta that she could help out the team.
At the team finals, where the USA won in 2014, Marta Karolyi put her up on the uneven bars. That was the only event she did in the team finals. She delivered there, and she delivered here. Look at the height and just what made that so hard, too, is the transition that she did into that.
She does a Stalder 360 to an immediate full twisting double back, which makes it even harder connecting those two skills.
Best routine we've seen so far in the apparatus tonight.
Well, she definitely has a great start value there. You know, she was leg separation on those release moves, but yeah, that was a great routine for Madison.
Yeah, I think it was the best one we've seen so far today.
It was Kyla Ross who had that very awkward-looking sit-down on the uneven bars.
She does this tumbling run right here as error-free as anyone I've ever seen do it. Actually, it was a little clunky on the landing. You see that right leg taped, right ankle. It's actually a heel injury that she had about a month ago. I don't know if we've seen anybody go out and do a confident beam routine. Here's her dismount, double back in a tucked position. Nicely done.
Well, not quite the Kyla Ross we're used to seeing on the balance beam. She's always very solid and confident, but she stayed on.
Well, that Madeline Koshin uneven bars was the best in the judges' eyes that we've seen so far tonight, 15.5. And now let's see what Maggie Nichols does with two great champions breathing down her neck.
She's got a super difficult first tumbling run. Double twisting, double somersault, 2 flips, 2 twists, 1 piece of air. performance all day long from Maggie Nichols. She's done something that no one has done, I believe, for 2 years. She was leading Simone Biles 3 events out of 4.
We'll get her score when we come back. Kyla Ross, a 14.25 on the balance beam. So not a fun night for her to remember. We'll be back in Indianapolis. P&G Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by CoverGirl and Gillette, and by USA Gymnastics. Begin here, go anywhere. Indianapolis, the largest city in the state of Indiana, and they saw some deductions, Tim and Nastia, on Maggie Nichols. A cautionary 14.55.
What a fantastic first night of the P&G Championships for this young lady right here.
She repeats another day like that, getting herself closer to a spot on that World Championship team later this fall.
Her stock was rising, and I would say it has risen more.
We'll have coverage of those World Championships in Glasgow.
Late October.
Ended up on the vault.
This is a really nice event for her. She doesn't have the hardest vault, but she executes this so well. Very, very clean. Typically, it's a great landing as well. Saw this vault from Gabby Douglas. Kyla Ross did this same vault. Coach Kim Zmeskal, Burdette. One of the absolute greats. 1991, as Bella said, was the first U.S. all-around champion.
Yeah, but how did he say it?
It was a good one. So, here we go. With this, I think she can move up quite a bit. Really nice. Really, really nice.
Now on uneven bars for Woka, Alyssa Allen.
Good. You don't have to come down that far.
Kim's got a thing about her height. You don't have to bend down that far. Kim, she kind of does. Sorry. What a great athlete, great coach. Look at the form, though. Feet pasted together, just slightly crossed, but so extended. Her body completely stretched as she's reaching for the floor.
Good job, babe.
That's what the judges are looking for.
Nice score, 15.25.
Oh.
Bailey Key.
Here, you can take my spot. I'm not going
Knocking on the door of the top 10 here, so it's our first look at Amelia Hundley.
So happy for how well she's done so far. She competed recently at the Pan American Games in Canada. She helped that team win the gold medal. She also got a second silver on floor exercise and a bronze on the uneven bars. 4th all around in that competition. Trains at Cincinnati Gymnastics with the world-renowned Mary Lee Tracy.
She's got somebody
all the time. Just about to say this might be the most solid routine we've seen so far. That's a small break for showing lack of control at the end of that full turn, which is a required element. You have to do some variation of it. Double pipe.
Great routine for Amelia, and I think, you know, competing at that Pan American Games just recently has really given her that confidence in competing now.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
There's Coach Mary Lee Tracy.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you.
Once again, a good green score for Bailey Key. 15.25.
Very nicely done. I think they could have even gone maybe a little higher. Very clean.
Well, the stage is set for Simone Biles to somehow grab a lead here.
You know, not to be a killjoy, but at the last competition, Simone scored a 16.0 on this event.
She only needs a 14.85 to take the lead. So
right. So if she does what she's capable of, certainly she's going to win this competition, and she's going to win it by probably over a point. We've talked about this Aminar. It was the key, actually, for USA in winning the gold medal in London in 2012. They had all three of their athletes in the team final competing. That, of course, everyone remembers Michaela Maroney. Phenomenal vaulter. But all three of the U.S. gymnasts did it. Very few are being done in the world at all. We saw one today from Allie Raisman. We saw a really beautiful one at the top of the show from Maggie Nichols. But this one it's really just in a league of its own.
With the first of 2 falls for world champions, Simone Biles.
Just watch. Remember, I've said a couple of times how the athletes didn't get into the table well, so their bodies didn't rocket up and off. Let's watch hers. Right here, the push. Oh, man, that is a 10. That right there should be absolutely, positively a perfect 10 execution. They're not going to give it a 10. I don't think they will, but they should. That is state-of-the-art, as good as it can be done. Oh.
Well, now I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Oh, my gosh. Judges, there was nothing wrong. Nobody's going to go higher. Nobody's going to land like that. Oh, baby. Look, just explodes in the air. And it's easy for her. Wow. Wow. The key is how fast she gets her arms back onto that table. They're like lightning right there, and she just rebounds. Man. Come on, judges. If that, I mean, they, in my opinion, they should give it a 10. I don't think they will. She's doing a second vault. It has nothing to do with her all-around score. It's for the national championships. You got to do 2 of them. She is, wow.
So that's the second vault. The first vault score, Tim, they somehow found 0.15. I think her eyelash moved.
That's, I don't know. That is just, it's.
Dude.
You know what? Some people think that it can never be perfect. But when you do the hardest vault being done in the world, and you do it better than anybody else can even come close to, it deserves to get a 10 in execution.
Here's Allie on the uneven bars. This is one event where she's typically struggled with a little bit. Kind of muscles through the entire routine. doesn't have that fluidity as we saw in maybe Maggie or even Kyla Ross.
You see the legs come apart there. She hangs on, but this is by far her weakest event. I asked Coach Mihai Brestian, what's the strategy with Allie on bars? And he said, do as short of a routine as possible.
That's honest.
Well, and it is, and that's the way that she can maximize her score, because she does have deductions, and so why do more if you're going to get a deduction each time?
Captain of the Fierce Five is being tested.
I don't know. I don't think this should reach the 14 level. It's going to be close. But she's a 15-plus gymnast, certainly, on 3 events, and that's really where she helps Team USA the most.
Gabby Douglas up next on floor. She could take the lead with a huge home run.
Yeah, really huge. Just so you know, in the last qualifying meet, she scored a 15-0, which was a great score on floor exercise. If she were to have been absolutely perfect, and the judges would have given her perfect execution, like they won't, as we just saw with Simone Biles, her maximum score is a 15.9. So she's not going to catch Simone Biles, but she has just one more routine to put an unbelievable effort on a comeback that a lot of people, she said, just didn't think was real.
Solid out of everybody today. You know, she's still trying to get back all of her difficulty, but she proved that not only is she back, but she is very much so in the mix. You know, I asked her earlier this week, what is it that drives you to make this comeback? And she said, no one has done it in a long time, meaning nobody has won the back-to-back all-around Olympic title since the 60s. And she wants to be that one to do it again.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, she really has had, now she's had 2 great competitions in less than a month. She has another one Saturday night. But like I said at the top of the show, no doubt about it, if they were picking Olympic teams today, Gabby Douglas would be on it.
Allie Raceman, a 14.15. And Douglas needs a 14.85 to move into second place. Let's go to Andrea Joyce.
All right, I'm with Simone. A spectacular end to the night, but an unusual night for you. Can you tell me what was going on out there, especially out on the floor? Not used to seeing that from you.
Yeah. It was just really weird for me because I wasn't tired. So when I got off the floor, I was like, I wasn't tired. And Coach Amy was like, well, you really whipped that back handspring, so I can see why you went straight up and straight down. And then I didn't grab as well. So it was just a freak thing.
I mean, we saw a couple of freaky things out here today. I was talking to Bella Caroli a little earlier, and he said maybe they're nervous. Maybe some of the girls, there's some nerves coming in.
That's what we were talking about after. I was like, well, everyone seems a little bit nervous today, like more than usual. So I think it just got to us.
You have been in camps with Gabby and with Allie, so you guys have been around each other a lot. But this is the first time you've competed national championships. What was it like for you to have them in the field? Was there more pressure?
There wasn't more pressure unless anybody put it on us, but it was really exciting, and hopefully day 2 will be a lot better.
All right, and then tell me about the vault. To be able to end the night like that, what did that mean to you?
It was really amazing because I was like, I just need to hit a good vault set, and that I stuck it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't believe it myself.
Congratulations. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Well, she's only 4'10" or thereabouts, but she's a giant in gymnastics, no doubt about it. Roaring back she comes. Not only does she come back, but she leads now by 1.4. And Gabby Douglas got a 13.85. She does not move past Maggie Nichols, who writes one heck of a story on night 1. Back to Andrea.
Al, Maggie came into this competition with bigger goals, very specific goals. Is this kind of what you had in mind, this performance?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to come out and show the crowd what I've been working so hard for and just to hit all my routines as best I can. So
what was going through your mind after rotation 1, rotation 2, and rotation 3 to see yourself at the top of the leaderboard above Simone, above Gabby?
I just wanted to stay focused, but it was a huge confidence booster. But I was just trying to have fun with the competition and stay focused.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I know you felt very strongly, Simone Biles is exactly where you thought she'd be at the end of night 1. It just was a little bit of a squirrely ride.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe some of the mistakes early on, but she shows with vault why she's one of the best that ever has lived in gymnastics.
Back to Andrea Joyce.
All right, an impressive showing for Gabby Douglas. First national championship since 2012. Can you describe what it was like for you, or your emotions? I mean, we saw physically what you did, but what about your emotions?
Definitely it was, for me, I wanted to come out here and just, perform, but I mean, I felt so good. It was so great being back out here and since 2012, so emotionally wise, I'm feeling really good. And
Did it seem like you had been away from it, or did it feel like you were right at home?
It's just right at home. It was deja vu, and it brought back so many memories, but it hadn't feel like I stepped away, so it was good.
You had talked a lot the other day about the doubters out there, so what do you think they're saying today?
I don't know. I definitely still need there's more room to improve, and I'm just going to go back and, work really hard tomorrow, and hopefully Saturday will be a little bit better.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Al?
All right, Andrea, so a lot to talk about. There always is in the Caroli family as they try to figure out who are going to be the pieces moving forward. Join us tomorrow night when coverage of the 2015 P&G Gymnastics Championships continues as the Men's National Championship kicks off. That's going to do it tonight for Simone Biles. She is back in a place where she's used to being, in first place, going for a 3rd straight national championship. So the women on Saturday night, the men on Sunday, with Tim Daggett, Nastia Lukin, and Andrea Joyce. I'm Al Trowick saying so long from Indianapolis and the field house here in the center of the town. Great hosts here for an event like this, and we look forward for the men's coverage tomorrow. We'll see you then.